Hi everyone, how are you guys tonight? You guys are live here on the Dixie Belle Paint Facebook and Instagram page. My name is Brandy. I am with Brush by Brandy, and I'm a Dixie Belle Paint brand ambassador. If you guys don't already, you can go find me. I'm over on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and I have a YouTube channel, and I do weekly videos on my YouTube channel. I've got a new one coming out tomorrow. So if you guys don't already, go find me over on my YouTube channel as well. We paint here live with you guys every Thursday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern. My husband Sean is here behind the camera to answer any questions, so pop on and ask us any questions you might have, either about what we're working on tonight or anything else you guys might have at home that you're working on. And we're going to do some painting tonight. So, let's see. This piece right here that's behind me, we started last week. So if you guys didn't catch the video last week, you can go to the Dixie Belle Paint Facebook page, and under the videos tab, they have all of our videos. This one we put the paint on last week. All I've done to this since is I went ahead and completed my second coat. We had started it last week. I finished the second coat on it. But I showed you how to mix this paint color and everything on that video. So you can go catch that one. But I want to show you where we're going with the design. And we're going to work a little bit on this. And then I have another piece that we're going to work on tonight as well. Okay. So what I plan to do with this is a custom order, and the customer that has this actually has another piece in her living room that's got the same blue color on it, so we matched the blue, this custom mix. And where I plan to go with it is I am actually using the Boho Soul Transfer from Dixie Belle, which is this one here. And I'm not going to add all of it, but I did have a request to show you guys a little bit about putting a transfer over curves, and this is a good piece to show you guys that on. So I'm just going to add one piece before we go ahead and start our paint project for tonight. But the sheet of the Boho Soul Transfer that I'm using is this one here. I cut a piece out of this one. But I basically plan to kind of stack these florals and feathers to kind of weave down the side of my piece a little bit, and then I think I'm going to tie it in over on that side too. Might do something in here. I'm not quite sure my design yet, but basically it starts with me cutting out every single piece of this till it looks like this. I'm going to cut it up, and then I take all the pieces and I start taping them together, and I can lay them out however I want, and this gives me an idea. So when you're placing a transfer, you can kind of lay it out beforehand and just get a rough idea. Take photos of it. You know, I can start with this here, and then if I want, move it down here. Take a photograph of it, and then you can look at them and really decide, is that the layout that I like better? Do I want to move it this way? You know, whatever you want to do. But I absolutely recommend taking those photos and look at the different layouts of the pattern and see what works best for you. I do that quite a bit. So I am going to make Sean come in here close with me tonight, because we're going to just put this one piece on so I can show you how I put these over curves.
You not like me?
I just like to make you move. I know it makes you a whiner. And then I might post on my page a couple different layout options to see what you guys like and help me decide how I'm going to lay this out. Because I wasn't sure if I should start in here in the center. I don't know. I'm kind of going back and forth. Or if I want it to come down this side. I'm still unsure on this. And I didn't take pictures. So basically everything I tell you guys to do, I haven't actually done. I'm just telling you guys you should. I've done it before, but not with this piece. I wish I would have. So what do you guys think? Should I start over here? Any preference?
Should start on the other corner.
Yeah, on the another piece.
On that side where we can't see.
Right here?
On the side
of
the piece.
So you guys want to move way across the room
Cindy
just to make
caught it.
Sean go mobile?
Yep.
What do you think, Cindy? Cindy, you always help me. What do you think? Should I start here, or do you like it better coming down this far corner?
She said side.
Over here?
And not to mention that your shirt matches the piece.
Oh, I very much try to be very fashionable. That's my top priority, is fashion. Fashion. I don't just wear overalls all the time because they look good. Just kidding. I'm the least fashionable person ever. Okay, we'll go ahead and start it over here. And then I'll build off this. So I'm going to fill this space up. It's going to be very, very voluptuous when I'm done. Right now it's a little skinny. No? I'm not liking it? Alright, whatever. Alright, but let's go ahead and put this piece on. And I want to show you guys this corner because look at this. It's got a curved molding. I'm telling you, you're going to get in close. So just be prepared.
Oh, I know.
It's got a curved molding. We're going to cut it around this drawer. All this stuff. I had someone message me today and just kind of talk about you know, transfers are just rubbing it on. There's not. There's way more thought that goes into a transfer, and that is number one, your layout. Once you have your layout decided, you've got to get it around whatever obstacles your piece presents to you. In this case, it's this molding here, all my drawer cuts. So let's go ahead and put this one on. Enough talking, Brandy. Shut up.
Exactly. Been saying that for years.
You see my scissors up there?
No, I try to keep sharp objects from you.
From me? All right. Here, this razor knife will work then.
Only if you have a tetanus shot.
What's that? Okay. So, I'm going to take just this piece, and I went ahead and cut it off because I want to get this up as close as I can to this lip at the top of my piece. And my plan is I'm basing this as my corner. So this is going to fill the corner, and then I'm going to build off of this at the bottom and also over to the side. And eventually, I'm going to take the feathers, just the feathers. Let me show you guys the feathers. These
I think
guys.
I should put some more stuff in my way.
And I'm going to kind of swag these at the bottom. So my very bottom is just going to be the feathers kind of poking out. That's how I'm going to fill in with these guys. But I start with my larger pieces first, and then I'm going to build off of there. So we'll pop this guy up into the corner. I'm going all the way to the top lip of my furniture piece, and I'm going to take the front of my drawer and I'm going to seat it onto the front of my drawer first, because I try to seat the largest portion first. And then I just pressed it down. That just gives me enough contact to stick it there, but I'm going to go ahead and rub it on with my transfer tool. And then I'm going to take my razor knife. So I always use a razor knife when I'm doing transfers, and I'm going to cut right along my drawer edge. This drawer has a little gap right here. I'm going to cut closest to the top lip. That way I have a little bit of excess that I can wrap over the drawer edge so you don't see an empty gap, because you can kind of see a little bit of that top lip of the drawer. So if I wrap that top, you won't see that. So I'm just riding my razor knife right along the top of my drawer. So that gave me my top cut. And now I'm going to ride it right along the side, right in the gap of my drawer.
Debbie says I should be careful. I might end up in the doghouse tonight.
And I have a razor knife. So now
How does she know I don't
now
usually...
is not the time to make me mad.
Yeah. That's my usual spot.
Hey, Ginger probably has a nicer bed than you do.
Brittany? Yeah, that
We like Ginger.
is very true.
Okay, the other thing I always consider when I'm laying a transfer is my hardware, because I don't want to put this right in the center of my hardware and then I'm just going to cover it with my hardware. So I do make sure I'm paying attention to that. And I'm going to rub this onto this center area. Okay, now I'm going to cut the bottom of my drawer. Same thing, I'm just going to ride my razor knife right in that crevice. This allows me to attach this one piece right here. A screwdriver?
Oh, am I in your way?
Yeah, it's nothing new.
Over there?
Oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna open this drawer. And this way I can see what I mean about wrapping this top lip. I'm gonna wrap this top edge of my drawer. And then this piece is done, and I can get rid of this and it won't be in my way when I come back to do the other portions. I end up cutting these into 50 different pieces. Pull the backing away as you're rubbing the transfer on. That's huge. If you just sit and rub and rub and rub and then try to pull it away, it's not going to want to come away. But if you pull the backing sheet away as you're rubbing it with the transfer tool, that's the key to getting your transfer to release onto your piece. This is raw paint. It's unsealed.
Wait a minute. Cindy says she learns so much every time she watches.
Aw,
Is she watching
Cindy.
somewhere else?
Yeah, wait a minute. I love you, Cindy. You are so sweet. Okay, so now I've got this piece on here completely, okay? I've got this seated. Now I'm going to come back, and I can even take this drawer out if I want. If I feel like this is in the way, take this out. And now I need to wrap this outer portion. I've got a lot of moldings here to consider. This is a flat piece on this side, so let's go ahead and get this on. Where it goes around an edge right here, if I kind of rub that edge at like a 45-degree angle, the backing wants to pop away, and it's going to right away release that transfer off of that edge. And that gives me an edge that I can start pulling away when I'm ready to pull this transfer away. Okay, down here at the bottom, I've got all these layers of this curve. I'm going to work them one curve at a time. Don't just try to push the transfer on and make it bend. I'm leaving this portion free, and I'm just going to work this one curve at a time. I'm going to push it right into that curve. All right, I've got that one done. Now I'm going to come to this next layer, next level. It's kind of like stairs. I'm going to step down the stairs. Now I need to wrap it on this corner. I'm going to wrap, and I'm going to hold that down while I rub the transfer on. Okay, and then I'm at my bottom step, and I'm going to push that on. And look, I don't even have to pull it away because all those curves, that backing sheet wants to pull away as soon as you bend it.
Now take us back a step. Where is this transfer?
One
What's it
time
off
when
of?
I was a child.
Oh man. One time in band camp.
So this is a Dixie Belle transfer. This is the boho sole transfer. The link that I put above in the post, you guys can find these there. So here's the deal. The accessories line from Dixie Belle is called Bells and Whistles. You guys see this right here? Get it? Dixie Belle, Bells and Whistles. It's their accessory line of products. So you can go to the website. It's got a separate tab for bells and whistles. That means all the accessories. It means transfers, decoupage papers, stencils. Those are all going to fall under the bells and whistles category. So that's kind of a new thing. But when you want to look for all these accessories that you can put over your paint, go to the website at that link I put above and look for the bells and whistles tab, and that's going to take you to where you can find transfers, stencils, all those things.
Now when you're applying it, does it matter if you start at the top or the bottom of the transfer?
No, it really doesn't. I could have done this piece up here first. I don't really think there's any preference. You kind of have to think about what's going to want to pull away with your next piece. So I did this flat piece first just because that was easy. I usually shoot for the easy stuff first. Up here, I'm going to do the same thing. I've got a curve and a flat and then another curve. I'm going to use my fingers and I'm going to hold it into this curve. I'm going to wrap that edge because right away it wants to pop the backing sheet off. And then I'm going to rub it into this transfer curve. I'm sorry, into the molding curve. I'm using the side of my stick because it's kind of a small area, but as soon as you bend that backing sheet, your transfer wants to pop away. Let me show you another thing I do. When I'm putting a transfer into a curve, it's going to want to tear because you're making it stretch around this curve. You're taking something that's flat and you want to make it have an angle to it. I will take my razor knife and I score it right into that curve. Oh, we have a friend I see. Do people see him?
No, I did.
Oh, can you guys see this? You guys see him right here? He's kind of cute. Nope, he
Call him
doesn't like the
Charlotte.
razor knife. Yeah, this is my friend right here. I don't know. He's gonna have to find his way outside, but we're gonna let him stay for right now. Okay, so don't get distracted by my little friend up here.
Say hello.
He's very
to my
small,
little
so we'll let him stay. Should he be any larger, Sean would have run out of here screaming like a girl. Right? Who has jobs in their house? Who gets the spider job? That's my job. All right, so I scored with my razor knife right into this crevice, and that makes it so that my transfer won't tear, because if you tear it, you don't have any control, it's going to tear where it wants. But by scoring this line with my razor knife, I make sure that it seats right in there. All right, and I've got a nice clean edge right down into the crevice, and I will also use my fingernail to push it down in there.
Janet slapped her iPad because she thought it was on her screen.
Get it, Janet, get it. All right, and then same thing with this part right here. I need to wrap this corner, all right? He's small, you guys. I actually think he's kind of cute. I see his little eyes. So I use my fingers and I hold it to the curve while I'm rubbing the transfer. Just working one area at a time. Don't try to wrap your whole transfer on this whole piece and just start rubbing. Pay attention to each individual area and just do one area at a time. Okay, he goes super mobile and I might run here screaming. If he ends up on me, this video's over. We're out.
Oh, but if she
I have
him.
limits, okay?
Yeah.
I have limits. If he tries to sit on my lap, we're gone. All right, and then I can pull this away where I've wrapped it onto the corner. And I can start pulling this piece away. Making sure any areas as I'm pulling it away don't come up with the clear.
Do you ever get creases or wrinkles? And if you do, how do you fix them?
Okay, so let's see if I've got some on here. I kind of do. I don't know if you guys can see them on this video though. Can you give me a rag?
Oh, great. Now I gotta
Yeah.
move like
That
4 feet.
that shirt you're wearing would work just fine. Okay, so I found that with the Dixie Belle transfers, I usually use the burnishing pad. I actually like a little bit softer of a cloth when I'm burnishing these. I'm going to show you a couple things. I've got a piece right here that's a little stretched. It's kind of stretched, but it hasn't broken. It's over this curve right here.
I got this pin dot I want Sean to catch.
You got to really get in here. I tried to tell you. Here, I'm just keeping my eye
I
on
don't
this
listen to
guy.
you.
Can you guys see this right here where it's stretched over this curve? It's kind of like, it's like a little tent. It's gonna tear. If I tried to put clear coat on this or whatever and I try to force it in there, it's gonna tear. I'm just gonna tell it where I want it to tear and I'm gonna slice this.
Do you talk to it?
Yes. And that means I've got a nice clean break instead of letting it tear. And you know, if you let something tear, it's gonna be a messy break. Okay, and so that gives me a nice clean tear. I've got a few little wrinkles, but I still want to burnish this. Burnishing just means rubbing over the surface, and I'm pushing out any air bubbles at the same time. I like to use just a soft cloth on these more than I like to use the the finishing pad from Dixie Belle. I know you guys have seen me do that a lot, but I actually like a softer cloth on these. So I just take a rag or cloth, I'm pushing out any air bubbles, I'm making sure that all my edges are seated nicely. If I have any wrinkles, this is the time I would rub them out too. This is a pretty clean application. I'll put the drawer front on there and we'll see if I've got any on there.
Can you tell us what colors are on the piece?
Yes, this is a custom mix. So I've got 3 paint colors. Again, the video for the paint on this piece is my video from last week. So go to the Dixie Belle Paint Facebook page and you'll find me. We mixed this color on camera. It is a mix of 3 colors, you guys. It is palmetto, antebellum blue, and midnight sky. About equal portions of each. Roughly
No,
equal.
I'll move the camera. I feel like I'm doing all the
You'll
work.
see if you catch my video from last week, we just started dumping and it ended up being about equal portions to get to the color. The lighter shade in the center, I just took my mix and I added a little bit of dried sage to that, and that's how I got this highlight in the center. Okay, so this darker color is a solid mix of those 3, and then just a little bit of dried sage in the center gave me this highlight. I don't really have any wrinkles. This is a pretty clean application, but I would do the same and I would just burnish this out using my rag.
It's called Botox.
Well, okay, well I have wrinkles, but there's happy wrinkles, right? So I would just burnish this out. This also helps my halo, which is the clear line around the outside, be less visible when I come back and put clear coat over this all. Okay, so this burnishing step is important, and I'm just using, this is just a t-shirt. Whoa. Sean had a tie-dye party. I don't know. My guess is that looks like Otter Pops to me. I'm saying Otter Pops. I'm saying Otter Pops on that one.
And yet, you still think it's my doing.
Okay, so this is going to be the base for me building out this transfer design. So from here, I will take, and I'm not going to do it all on camera with you guys tonight, but basically I'm going to take and I'm going to stack these different flowers. Like I could see this guy kind of going here. I don't know, something like that. And I'll place them out. I'm probably going to use 2 of these transfers, I would guess, to get the whole design that I want as big as I want it. I want it to really fill this space. And then I'll kind of hang some of the empty, or some of the just feathers coming down. Can you guys see the basic shape that I'm going to build?
Brittany, I don't think those are Otter Pops.
That's my concept. All right, so I hope that was helpful, you guys, but that was the basics of how to wrap a transfer around a curve. I do a lot of cuts. I work one curve at a time. There is an art to this. It is not just rubbing it on. You will end up with a transfer that you're not happy with because it will tear. You're going to make it stretch. You're trying to make something flat, go around a curved surface, right? And then just burnishing it when you're done. I use my fingernail to get it down in the crevices, so I've got really nice angles. Score it anywhere that you need it to break, rather than just asking the transfer to break on its own. And then if you end up with wrinkles, you can they just rub out. Sometimes you got to put a little bit of pressure on it and just keep rubbing that one spot, and you'll end up rubbing the wrinkle out. You can use a light abrasive too, but you can also end up distressing the transfer. So just be aware of that. You don't want to rub too hard in one spot, but if you've got a wrinkle, just rub that spot and it will, the wrinkle will rub out. What it actually does is it takes off that little piece of the transfer. You're basically rubbing that little wrinkle off of the transfer. Okay, you guys want to paint? We're not doing a whole hour on transfers tonight. You guys want to paint? Sean's looking like he wants to move. He's been in the same spot for at least 30 seconds now. We're going mobile. I'm going to set these aside and get them out of my way. I'm going to shut the razor knife. I've lost sight of the spider, but I don't feel any tickling or anything, so I think we're safe. I'll let you guys know. All right, let's move to this piece behind me. And this one is actually for my own house, so I get to paint it how I want, which has been a long time since I did a piece just for me. They usually have to wait the longest, either pieces for friends and family. Speaking of friends and family, you guys, we have a live studio audience tonight. Not just the usual one, which is Sean in the background.
The usual one? No, but really, singular.
We actually have a live studio audience tonight. And I'm going to put them on the spot because our studio audience is people that are very special to me. So I want to introduce you guys to my aunt and uncle are here. They came to visit us. It's my Aunt Lori and my Uncle John. And let me get all teary because I'm a crier. Sorry. Okay, my Aunt Lori is very special because she is a crafter. She is the ultimate creative. She's a sewer. She does quilting.
She puts up with your uncle.
My uncle takes a lot of putting up with. My uncle's a retired firefighter. But when I was growing up, my Aunt Lori was always inspirational. See this? Sorry guys, I'm gonna cry. Inspirational to my creative side because she had this collection of fabric in the garage.
I think it's still there.
Yeah.
I think that same collection
Which my uncle loves. They actually now travel nationwide, and my aunt will stop at all the fabric stores. But I remember looking at this fabric and coordinating colors in my mind of the different fabrics because there was so much. It was eye candy. But she was a lot of my creative inspiration growing up. So they were visiting us.
I'm not panning.
Yeah, you are.
No, you're not.
Yeah, you are.
See, that sounds like I am not.
Yeah. No, put them on camera for a
What?
second. Yeah, just do it. All right.
No, bring it back.
Okay, they're gonna absolutely fight me on this.
So wrong.
This is my Aunt Lori and my Uncle John, you guys. Everyone say hi. They're all saying hi. All right, who's
Was
this,
it me?
Who's this over here?
Yeah.
This is all me. I'll take the consequences of that. There you go, guys. That's my Aunt Lori and Uncle John. They're really hanging out with us tonight.
Oh,
but
gosh.
really,
Sorry, guys.
I lived with my aunt and uncle for a while when I was in high school and in college. They're a big part of our life. So I'm excited that they're here visiting. And I get
And look, they're leaving now.
I get all happy when I think about
You've
them.
embarrassed them.
My aunt's helping me learn how to cook because I never learned that. Okay, so you guys, I'm going to paint this piece. And this is for my own house. It's going upstairs in my bonus room where my kids play their video games. And it's the perfect size, I think, to put all their consoles in. And then it has a shelf under here so they can store their games. I picked this piece for myself because it has the doors, has great storage, and the size is perfect. So I've had this one stashed for a while. I've taped off the top because I don't want to get paint up here because I do want to have a wood stain top. I love a wood stain top. And what I want to do on this is I want to do a kind of messy cross-hatching technique. This is one where if you guys have watched my videos, it goes through a really huge ugly face. It looks awful. You're going to want to run and hide. It's going to scare you. You're going to think you messed it up. And it pulls it together in like the last second. This is really going in our house. So let me go through the colors I'm going to use on it. I love the blues and it's mine. So I get to use all my favorite colors. I have in the navy. I'm going to open them as I'm going through. Midnight Sky. I'm going to turn them to their back so you can see kind of the gradation that I'm using. So Midnight Sky in the navy. My favorite color in the line, which is Stormy Seas. I've got out Vintage Duck Egg. And then I'm going to use the same mix we used on this other piece. It's got a little bit of green undertones in it, but I've got extra of my mix left over, so I'm going to throw custom mix into the mix.
Huh?
Yeah. We won't get to this stage tonight, but my next level is going to include metallics. I'll show you a little bit tonight, but it's going to be silver bullet and steel magnolia. But let's go ahead and just start painting. So this is kind of a messy look. I'm going to use my premium chip brushes. These are available on the website right now, and I'm using them because I want to show brush strokes.
Let's just get to it. People want to know, are they going to see this from start to start to finish?
I will make a video. This will be a YouTube video. It will be. You aren't going to see it all tonight, but you guys will see it. Give me a few weeks. My YouTube videos are usually a couple weeks behind what I'm actually working on, and that's because it takes time to finish the piece, photograph it, edit the video clips together. So it's usually about 2 weeks behind when I actually finish the piece. So be patient, it comes.
And you caught Sheila's attention because you got the metallics.
Oh, Sheila, I am going to use metallics. Okay, so I'm going to start out and I'm just going to lightly dip. I'm going to start out using one brush. I think I'm going to end up with, let me show you here, a brush that probably goes for these darker colors. I'm going to end up with a brush for these lighter shades and then probably a brush just for metallics. I'm not worried about contamination because I like contamination. I want the colors to layer. But I'm going to start out with my darker colors, and so I'm going to take some Midnight Sky. I'm just going to fill the tips of my bristles. And my intent is I'm going to use a cross-hatching.
Really? You gotta start down there?
Sorry. Yes.
Come on. Let me smalls.
This drives me nuts because I take all the hardware off, so I end up with my doors want to sit here like this.
Someone's at the door for you.
Yeah. Is it the spider? And I'm just going to kind of start weaving these together. I'm starting out with my Midnight Sky, and what I want to do is I want to kind of layer these up so my darker color is at the bottom, and it's going to creep up these. What's this, like a W?
I don't know.
It's
called In My Way.
It's going to creep up each of these columns a little bit and be at the bottom of my doors. I'm going to put a layer of metallics over this that's going to tone this down and even it out, but that's not going to be till my final stage. I do have a video with the same technique but with different colors on my YouTube channel. Back in January, I posted it. You guys might have seen that one.
Huh. Is this similar to the roasted marshmallow piece?
Yes, that's exactly the one I'm talking about. Who said that? Yes.
Gina.
Gina, you're spot on. Good eye. That is exactly the technique that I'm using. And so you guys know, if you guys have seen that video, this is the ugly phase. It goes through an ugly phase, like me in middle school and high school and college and in my 40s. Huge ugly phase. Sean and I were late bloomers.
Oh man, there we go. So about your painting technique.
Yeah, that's what they want to hear about. Okay, so that's my Midnight Sky. We'll just kind of work in this one portion because otherwise I'd have to cross across the piece. And then I'm going to come to In the Navy, which is just a little bit lighter, and I'm going to weave this in. Eventually I end up weaving in so many colors that this is going to cover my base. My base on this one is Dixie Belle Slick Stick. Did you guys think I was going to say Boss because it's gray? It is Slick Stick, but I tinted it with a little bit of caviar, and I mean a little bit, you guys, because I'm just tinting. I don't want to change the formulation. It just takes the tiniest bit of caviar to turn it into this soft gray. And then it's a little bit closer to my final product. This piece is solid wood. The reason I use Slick Stick on it is because it has this enamel finish. It was that white enamel. No, I've covered the entire thing in Slick Stick, so you can't see any of it. But it had this white enamel finish on it. So even though it's solid wood, it had a slick finish on it. And that's why I chose to use Slick Stick.
So do you wait for your first layer to dry?
My Slick Stick is dry. That's what you guys are seeing right now. My Slick Stick, I put this on.
What if I want to change the color scheme?
No, you don't. You love this. You are in love. You can't wait to put this in. You can't wait to carry this up the stairs into our house.
Better than the last one.
All right, story time, but I'm going to switch to my Stormy Seas now, and I'm just kind of getting lighter. They're all layering on top of each other because my brush strokes are so light and wispy. It dries really fast to where I'm not smearing the one I did before, and I'm just going to kind of slowly get lighter as I go up. So you'll notice I go up a little bit further with each color. And I'm using horizontal and vertical brush strokes.
So when you're starting your cross-hatching, the first color that you use, do you wait for that first color to dry before you apply your
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, I don't, because honestly, there's so little paint on my brush. Now I've got 3 colors in there, but I'm using so little paint. Like, this is dry. It dries so fast. It's also 300 degrees in California today.
Huh.
Yeah, literally.
I think that just says you went somewhere that the rest of us aren't going.
Yeah. So, I kind of work across the piece. Like, you'll notice I'm not going over down here. But in a couple minutes, I would come back and put another layer over this. I'm layering it. And I'm doing the cross-hatching because it gives a little bit of texture, and I'm using the premium chip brush. You can use your Dixie Belle brushes for this too. Even the Scarlet brush would work for this. I didn't use the Scarlet only because it's sold out right now. I didn't want to show you guys with it being sold out. But the Scarlet would work for this too.
Oh, Deborah says it's 900 in Florida.
Yeah. Yeah, same, Deborah, same.
Same weather pattern.
All right, so now I'm going to come and I'm going to layer some of this Stormy Seas over here. And I'm just picking areas where it's kind of blank. Ideally, I don't want to see the gray peeking through. I'm telling you guys, this is going to look ugly and scary.
So why no water?
Because I want the brush strokes. I don't want them to, when you use water, the paint kind of smears itself out. I don't want that. I want defined brush strokes. On my next layer, we will use a little bit of water, and that's because the next layer is kind of like a color wash. A wash is when you dilute the paint and you just use a thin layer over all. So my next layer is like a color wash, and it's going to tone down all this texture. All right, let's come in with some of these other colors. My next color is going to be Vintage Duck Egg. And I don't want too much of this down here because I don't want to wash out these darker colors. You can kind of see it starts filling in all the empty spots.
Apparently it was 310 in Fresno today.
Oh yeah, yeah, you guys know. Those are my people right there. No exaggeration, huh? You guys have a thermometer outside. You actually checked it. So you can kind of see how it starts getting a little bit lighter. When I get to the top is where I'm going to have, I have out some whites. I have out drop cloth and driftwood. I say whites, but driftwood is actually a light gray. The finished product in this, you guys, seeing all these brush strokes layered over each other, the different colors peeking through, is gorgeous. Gorgeous enough that I want it in my own house. I have quite a few pieces in my own house, but I don't have one using this technique. So I like a little bit of variety. Plus, it's kind of a cool, industrial, messy look. So since it's going into a kid's area and I have boys, they're not going to feel like it's too, feminine for them. Because my kids care about their furniture,
So how many times are you going to go over this?
Probably 1,000. It's a lot of brush strokes. It's a lot of brush strokes. You're going to really get, you see that? See that right there?
That's that Popeye?
Yep, you're going to get this right here. So I don't want to brag, but I'm putting it on display.
How do we take that back?
That moment in time. All right, let's go in for a little bit of driftwood. I'm going to mix this in with the Vintage Duck Egg. I'm on my second brush now. So I remember I told you guys I would dedicate one to my darker colors. I don't want to wash this out too much. I want it to still stay pretty dark in case I need to switch. So I'm going to leave that for dark. These are kind of my medium colors. All right, so I'm coming back with the driftwood, which kind of matches my background, which is this gray slick stick that I tinted. But it's got enough contrast. I think if the gray slick stick shows through in some areas, that's okay. It's a good base. Sheila, I'll get to a little bit of the metallics tonight just because I want to show you guys kind of what those do over the top. All right, I am going to take a little bit of my darker colors and I want to bring them up so there's some. I just don't want there to be too much.
So are those the premium chip brushes?
These are the premium,
or the regular?
the premium chip brushes. These are way nicer, you guys. Here's how I think about it. The regular chip brushes, those are your throwaway brushes. Throw them away. They cost like $1. Those are for oil-based products, things you don't want to rinse out. You're going to throw away the regular chip brushes. The premium chip brushes are worth rinsing out. They're pretty nice for a chip brush. But they're still in the inexpensive range. So this is my custom mix color. I'm going to work a little bit of this in. Got a little bit of greens in it. And then I'll give you a little bit of the lighter tones in the metallics. So this one's pretty dark, so I'm going to keep it kind of...
Nancy says, the bicep blending queen.
Yeah, that's it. That's right.
Typo has nothing in
I
it.
do, but I really do have one arm that's way stronger than the other one.
That's awkward.
It's the painting arm, right?
That's why I can't take you out
Yeah.
anymore.
I tell Sean, like, you can't enter the painting arm. We're going to insure it, like, just like J-Lo's thighs, that's how I have to treat the painting arm.
Yep, just the same.
And when I call the insurance companies, they're like, we don't know what you're talking about, ma'am. Please stop calling here. All right, let me get this on. And this is kind of freeing. You just kind of get to play with the paint. I'm just layering. This looks horrible. I'm the first to tell you, my first coat of paint usually looks really scary.
No.
This is for our own house. You realize that, right?
Oh, sorry, that's built in.
Yeah. Just your automatic response?
Yep.
All right, and this is a little bit of drop cloth. Drop cloth is a creamy white, and I just want a little bit of this kind of over the top. I generally like this look better for flat front pieces because it's so many brush strokes. If you have a lot of moldings, this one even has probably more than I would usually choose this look for. But I'm going to make it work because I want this piece for my house. And the reason is because you're asking the brush to wisp over things. So see this box up here? It's going to be kind of a challenge to get those wispy brush strokes inside that box. It wants to hit the moldings.
Oh, sorry, Brittany, it's too late. She said don't fall for the trap.
All right, Sheila, this is for you. So normally what I would do is I'm going to do this over my entire piece, and I'm going to come back and my next coat is going to be a little bit of metallics. The reason I save the metallics for the last stage on this look is because if you're doing them, if you're weaving them in with the regular paint, you lose the metallic effect. You'll lose the sheen of the metallics. You're going to end up hiding it with your regular paints. I want it to be on the top in your face. I want to see the shimmer of the metallics, so I save them for the last. And I'm going to do the same thing, and it starts toning down. It starts toning down the look of these cross-hatching, and this is where I would use a little bit of water. Jumping the gun here because I don't want to rinse out the brush strokes I've got underneath. But I want it to be a softened effect over the top of all those brush strokes. So I'm going to use a little bit of water and I'm going to do the same thing. Again, I'll do the full process on camera so you can see it in the right order. By the way, you guys, your mister bottles, if they stop working, what happens with the misters is when you pump it, it builds up pressure in here. Sometimes you need to just screw the lid off, release the pressure, and screw it back on. So if you're finding your mister bottle stopped working, screw that lid off and then screw it back on. Okay, so I'm going to get shimmer over the top. It's kind of a little wash effect over some of these crazy brush strokes, which I still want to fill in even more. I want more. This is a layering effect.
So you just let it hit the molding, right? Or do you
I'm
touch it up
trying
later?
to get some of it inside the box, so if you need to, you can put your brush inside the box and just get some in here. I don't want it to just land on the molding. I obviously want some of my paint to go inside. So that's what, that's part of the challenge with having those moldings. You're gonna have to make some deliberate brush strokes to get around. Even these guys right here are kind of a pain. But since this is a layered effect with all these brush strokes, you can make whatever brush strokes you need to get inside those boxes. And I'm going to build up some areas, like see here how I'm going to have I want that metallic to show. So I'm telling you, this finish will take forever, but it is absolutely insanely beautiful when you're done. Because you get this layering, it looks like a woven linen, how you can see all the different colors in the natural fibers. That's what it ends up looking like. They kind of peek through, but you get this very subtle shading by just using more of the darker colors down at the bottom, more of the lighter at the top, and it's gonna start creating this shaded effect. And then the light wash, a wash meaning I'm adding a little bit of water of the metallics over the top, gives it a little bit of shimmer. I can even layer some of my silver bullet over the steel magnolia.
So what I want to do before you're done is obviously go over paint colors again that you're using.
Oh yeah, I have quite a bit here, but you know what, like this is one that I want to keep for me, and so I really want it to be special. I will spend quite a bit of time on this finish, and I'm just going to cross hatch it until I like the layer and where the colors lie, and I've got little splotches of extra metallic, and I don't know, you can kind of see where this is going. But I would do one layer of your cross hatching with just your regular paints. You could even come back and do another one over the top of that, and then your metallics, save those for your last step. So even right now, you see me putting metallics on. This I would probably wait. I have way more space I want to fill in just with layering the regular paint, but I wanted you guys to see what my final step will be, which is layering these metallics over the top. You can still see the brush strokes underneath it. That's the point. I don't want to lose that, okay? It just adds another layer of texture and dimension by layering these colors. So, okay, let's go over our colors one last time. I've got Midnight Sky, which is my darkest color. There's quite a few here, so get out your pens. Ready, guys? Midnight Sky in the navy. Stormy Seas. My custom mix, which is Palmetto, Antebellum Blue, and in the navy. I'm sorry, Midnight Sky. Palmetto, Antebellum Blue, Midnight Sky. Vintage Duck Egg. Driftwood, Drop Cloth. These are going to be woven together on this whole piece for a layering effect. The two metallics I'm going to use are Silver Bullet, Steel Magnolia. That's a beautiful color combination. It's very rich and serene. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 colors total I will use. But that layering effect is where it's at. And then on the inside, so I've been using my silk, Dixie Belle silk, a lot for the inside of pieces, and I'm using it on the inside because I don't have to come back and top coat it. So the inside of this, I'm going to apply silk all to the inside of this cabinet, and this is Deep Sea, which is a rich navy blue, is going to be on the inside. Silk is highly wipeable, and I don't have to top coat it, so I can just do one coat. I'll probably do 2 coats. Rolled on with a roller on the inside of this. It'll be wipeable, it'll be durable, and I don't need to put multiple layers having a top coat over it. It's super functional for the insides of pieces. So that's going to be on the inside. All right, you guys. What do you think? You guys can totally duplicate that. But yes, if you want to see the full process of this just using different colors, go find my piece. You can search on my YouTube channel. It sounds silly, but search roasted marshmallow. Search roasted marshmallow. It was a piece that I did around the beginning of the new year. And my theme of it was roasted marshmallows. Okay? And I'll get a video put together with this one too, but it's going to take a little bit of time to see that on my YouTube channel. Alright, you guys, you can find anything that we used in the video tonight in the post that, or in the link that I put at the top of the post. You can also use that link to find your local retailer. So if you want to go into a retailer and look at all the colors in person, you want to choose your own color combination, you can find your local retailer and go visit them. Or you can purchase at the link I put above, and I earned a small percentage from purchases made through there, and I always appreciate that. But I always appreciate you guys hanging out with me on Thursday evenings. Thank you to my aunt and uncle for being here with us tonight.
Okay, we're gonna flip it around again. No?
Yeah. I put them on the spot. I lied and said that I wasn't going to, but I really did. No, thank you. I'm glad that they're here. I'm gonna go cook with my aunt after this. And you guys will be back next Thursday. I have a new video coming out on my YouTube channel tomorrow. Go subscribe for that. It's going to be a cool video on painting in transfers to making them match the full size of your piece when your transfer is not the right size. Those same techniques also can apply to decoupage and a whole bunch of other things when you need to enlarge the size of them. Alright, you guys have a great weekend, and I will catch you guys next week.